Imagine a floating city, a luxurious cruise ship carrying thousands of souls, gliding across the serene, endless ocean. One moment, it's a beacon of light and life. The next, it's gone, vanished. No SOS, no wreckage, no witnesses. Just an empty patch of water where a skyscraper once floated. How can this happen? In our age of constant tracking and surveillance, how can something so massive simply disappear? This is the chilling paradox that lies at the heart of maritime history's darkest files. The sea promises adventure, but for some, the journey never ends, and their stories become whispers in the deep. Today, we're diving into the inexplicable vanishing acts of the sea's most magnificent vessels. These aren't just stories, they are unsolved cases that defy logic and technology. Let's begin with a tale that has haunted sailors for decades. The SS Ourang Medan. In 1947, a series of frantic Morse code messages were picked up by ships in the Strait of Malacca. The message was terrifying. All officers, including captain, are dead, lying in chart room and on bridge. Probably whole crew dead. This was followed by a final, chilling transmission. I die. When the first rescue ship, the Silver Star, reached the Ourang Medan, they found a ghost ship. It was perfectly intact, floating peacefully under the hot sun. But what they discovered on board was the stuff of nightmares. The entire crew was dead. Every single person was frozen in a state of absolute terror. Their faces were locked in a horrifying grimace, eyes wide open, mouths agape as if screaming at an unseen horror. Their arms were outstretched, reaching for something that wasn't there. There were no signs of injury, no violence, no struggle. The ship's dog was found in the same petrified state. What could cause such a thing? Investigators were baffled. The ship's internal temperature was normal, yet every body was contorted as if in agony. Theories flew. Was it a nerve agent attack? A supernatural encounter? Or perhaps a leak of a highly toxic substance from the ship's mysterious, undeclared cargo? The rescuers decided to tow the ship back to port, but they would never get the chance. Moments after they attached the tow line, smoke began billowing from the ship's hold. The boarding party scrambled back to their own vessel just in time. The Ourang Medan exploded with such force that it was lifted from the water before sinking, taking its terrifying secret to the seabed forever. The official records of this incident are scarce, leading some to believe it's a maritime legend. But for those who believe the story, the question remains. What did the crew of the Ourang Medan see in their final moments? Let's turn the clock back even further, to 1909 and the story of the SS Waratah. This wasn't just any ship. It was the pride of the Blue Anchor Line, a massive, luxurious passenger and cargo liner dubbed the holiday ship. Confident in its design, its owners boasted that it was unsinkable. On its second ever voyage, sailing from Durban, South Africa to Cape Town, the Waratah, with 201 passengers and crew, simply disappeared. The weather was calm, the seas were clear, it sent no distress signal. No lifeboats were ever found, no wreckage, no bodies. It was as if the ocean had opened up and swallowed it whole. What makes this story even more unsettling are the premonitions. One passenger, an engineer named Claude Sawyer, had a recurring nightmare during the first leg of the journey. In his dream, he saw a man in a long robe with a sword covered in blood. He interpreted this as a warning and disembarked in Durban, trying to convince his fellow passengers to do the same. They laughed him off, but his premonition came true. Theories about the Waratah's disappearance range from the plausible to the paranormal. The most accepted scientific explanation is a rogue wave, a freak towering wall of water that can appear without warning and snap even the largest ships in half. Could a rogue wave have capsized the Waratah so quickly that no one had time to react? Another theory suggests a catastrophic structural failure, perhaps related to its stability. The mystery is so profound that the ship has entered folklore as a phantom vessel, a ghostly apparition occasionally spotted cruising the coastline, where it vanished over a century ago. The search for the Waratah continues to this day, a testament to one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the sea. So why do these behemoths vanish so swiftly and completely? The ocean possesses hidden forces that we are only beginning to understand. The rogue wave theory is a prime suspect. These are not tsunamis, they are individual colossal waves that can form in the open ocean, sometimes reaching heights of over 100 feet. They are walls of water, appearing without warning, with enough force to break a supertanker in two. Imagine a ship being hit by one. The event would be instantaneous and catastrophic. But there's another, more sinister theory, infrasound. This is ultra-low frequency sound, below the range of human hearing, that can be generated by massive storms or even certain wave patterns. Experiments have shown that infrasound can have bizarre and terrifying effects on the human body and mind. It can cause feelings of extreme fear, anxiety, panic, and disorientation. At high enough intensities, it can even cause physical harm or death by vibrating internal organs. Could a localized burst of powerful infrasound have driven a crew to madness, causing them to make fatal errors or even jump overboard in a panicked frenzy just before a storm wave claimed their vessel? This terrifying combination of psychological and physical assault from nature itself could explain the speed and silence of these disappearances. Now let's bring this threat into the modern day. Imagine an Oasis-class cruise ship, a floating metropolis with over 6,000 people on board, vanishing today. It's almost unthinkable. Every passenger has a smartphone with GPS. The ship itself is a technological marvel, constantly tracked by dozens of satellites with redundant communication systems and black box data recorders. For such a vessel to disappear without a trace would require a catastrophic, simultaneous failure of every single system: power, communications, and structural integrity. What could cause such a total blackout? It points to two terrifying possibilities: either an extreme, localized natural event of unprecedented power, like a massive underwater methane gas explosion that instantly vaporizes the ship, or a deliberate, sophisticated act of sabotage. The human threat can be just as dark and deep as the ocean itself. Could a modern act of piracy or terrorism be so advanced as to completely erase a ship from existence? It's a chilling thought that shows even with all our technology, we may not be as safe as we believe. Of course, we can't discuss maritime mysteries without sailing into the notorious Bermuda Triangle. While often sensationalized, the area between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico does have unique and scientifically documented anomalies. There are significant magnetic variations that can confuse compasses and navigational equipment. The weather is famously volatile, with sudden, violent storms appearing out of nowhere. And the Gulf Stream, a powerful ocean current, can quickly disperse any wreckage, making it difficult to find. It's a place where natural phenomena are so concentrated and extreme that they can feel supernatural. This has fueled the countless stories of ships and planes being swallowed by a strange green fog or simply blinking out of existence. While most disappearances in the triangle have logical explanations, a few remain stubbornly unsolved, leaving a permanent mark of dread on the map and ensuring its place in our collective imagination as a place where the rules do not apply. In the end, the sea is the ultimate guardian of its secrets. For every vanished ship, from the Ourang Medan to the Waratah, the final chapter is the same: silence. The vast, indifferent ocean swallowed these colossal mysteries whole, leaving us with nothing but echoes and questions. We are left to ponder the terrifying last moments of those on board, staring into the great dark abyss before it claimed them forever. The stories serve as a humble reminder that despite all our advancements, we are still at the mercy of a power far greater than ourselves. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the deep. If you find these hidden histories as fascinating as we do, make sure to subscribe to Shadowfacts and ring that notification bell. Join us next time as we continue to uncover the truths hidden in the shadows. Stay curious and never sail alone.